නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස කෝනුකෝ භන්තේ සංඛාරාණං අස්සාදෝ කෝ ආදීනවෝ කිං නිස්සරණං තීති. Dear friends in Dhamma, Venerable Brother, actually we were discussing Punnama Sutta, which is available in the Kanda Sangyukta, where are 10 questions being asked by one Venerable monk. So while Buddha and the Sangha living at Migaramatupassada, the monastery built by Visakha, so on one full moon poya day, so Buddha and the Sangha came out and they were staying outside the monastery during that night. Now one monk needs to ask a question, actually a series of questions. And then he get up, raised himself, and then he interrupted the Buddha and excused and asked, Bhante, I have a series of questions. Is it all right to ask? Then Buddha said, okay, you sit down and then ask all your questions. Now he is asking all the 10 questions, starting from the very beginning, talking about the aggregates actually. And he know that all the answers may be because he is an arahant, but for the benefit of his students, he is asking these 10 deep questions. So he want to know the answers directly from the Buddha. So what are the Panchupadana Khanda? So he named them as Rupupadana Khanda, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. And then Buddha confirms them. Yes, they are the 5 clinging aggregates. And then what is the cause, what's the root for these aggregates? And then Buddha answers it as the Chandamulaka, Chandamulakati. So the desire is the root cause for these 5 aggregates to continue. So we keep continuing them, we keep accumulating them because there is a desire. And then he's asking, is this upadana, the clinging, is different from the 5 clinging aggregates, or are they the same? Then Buddha says they are not different, they are not the same, but a kind of a desire, a lustful desire towards these clinging aggregates is the upadana. And how the kind of diversity happens between these different 5 aggregates. Then Buddha mentioned, okay, you have some future related inclinations towards the aggregates, their existence. So yesterday we discussed taking the Sankhara Khanda as the main theme for this week, or rather this month, and for different kind of our mental activities, verbal activities, bodily activities. So we have certain visions, have certain view, still leading towards the future, certain expectations toward the future, but with respect to the bodily activities, mental activities, verbal activities. If we take the sankhara broadly, 3 categories like bodily, verbal, and the mental. And then he's asking the question how the term Khanda, the Khandhadi Vachananti. So why the term Khanda is coming and why it is being used. Then Buddha mentioned the vastness of this term aggregate, because it is not mere mental formations happening right now. So whatever the mental formations happened past, that also comes under it. And happening right now, that is also included. Going to happen in the future, that is also included. And whatever the mental formation happening right now within yourself, that also included. What is outside happening in someone else's mind, that also included. Internal, external, superior, inferior, say gross and refined, close and far, all that are included. So that means even at the mental level, so sankharas, even if they have already happened, that also comes under this sankhara khanda. What is happening right now also included. Going to happen in the future, that is also included. So the mental formations. Now if we stick to the mental formations, so there may be thoughts which have already happened. I thought like that. I meant like that. An idea came to my mind. So that is all referred to the past. That also actually coming under this. So my intention was like that. I had my good intention. So you sometimes refer like that. And my intention is this. So currently you have certain intention, you explain like that. So the current, present intention also coming under it. I intend to do like this. So not yet happen, but you intend to do something future related. That's also included under the aggregate, formations aggregate. So time-wise, so all the different times are considered therefore. All different sorts of mental formations. Either wholesome, unwholesome, equanimous, everything is included. And all 11 dimensions are considered. So whatever chetasikas, whatever mental factors what we can think of, we can say are considered at this aggregate. Now the next question is what actually we discussed in detail yesterday, how this Sakkaya Ditti happens. Katannuko bhante Sakkaya Ditti hoti, with respect to mental formations. Now, say for example, you thought about something, but it is not a mere single thought, but a series of thoughts. Say, yesterday you were talking with someone and later you thought about what you have discussed. Say you listened to the Dhamma sermon yesterday and you thought about it. Is it a single thought? No, it is a series of thoughts. To this thing, that thing, so you sort of pondered about it. And later you may write your report telling, I thought like this, I understood like this. So I is also there. Not only that you consider this whole thinking process as one thing, as my idea, I thought, but you include yourself also, this is my thought, this is the way I understood. So I come into the picture. So series of mental activities are there, particularly the thoughts are there, and now you bundle them together and you give it a single name, and to that single name you have some relationship. Immediately you say, okay, this is my thought, this is my idea, this is the way, my understanding. Or you can say, so I think like this. So currently, immediate recognition, immediate identification. So likewise, if we consider our thinking process, so we often, thinking process is attributed to a person, isn't it? So when thinking is there, when thoughts are there, we admit, okay, there is a person who is thinking. Is there thoughts without a person? Are there thoughts without a person? Can there be thoughts without a person? Thoughts without a thinker. There's a new book, not really new, it's also pretty old now, by this Buddhist psychotherapist, whose name? Mark Epstein. Mark Epstein is one of the US-based Buddhist psychotherapists, and one of his books is called Thoughts Without a Thinker. So you can see the Buddhist roots. There can be thoughts, but there is no thinker. So, but the typical tendency is thoughts are there, so I am thinking. So I am the one having this special idea. This is my idea, this is my thoughts, this is the way I represent, this is the way I understood. So all different mental phenomena. Say, I am a lustful character, I am an angry character, I have a short temper. Now all represents our way of mentality, isn't it? So, but we attach a self into it. So that's why this sankhara khandha contributes towards the sakkaya ditthi. It is not mere consideration that the bundle is considered as one thing, that is the ganasanya. So that is the sakkaya, that the sakkaya ditthi comes to the play when that bundle is considered related to a person, related to a self. So I am thinking like this is my thought, I am a lustful character, I am short-tempered, I got angry. Who got angry? I got angry. So this is how we talk. So like say for example, you look at your face on the mirror and you simply say, oh, this is me, this I am. So similarly, you can go to your mental side, your thoughts, your thinking, your emotions, and simply say, I am angry. And I was cheated. So I am angry because I was cheated. So I expect him to behave the way I want. Say you have few children and you expect them to behave the way you want. So you have figured out, okay, this is the way my children have to behave. You thought about it. You have the idea, kind of a roadmap for them to go through. So this is the way they should behave. So you have your mental way of looking at it. So this is my view. This is my idea. This is what I expect. I expect my country to be like this. I expect the president to be like this. I expect next election to be like this. So all our expectations, desires, because the sankhara are very broad. Now if we think of the Abhidhamma, there are 52 cetasikas, and among them Vedana and Sanya, if we exclude, because they represent separate aggregates, now there are 50 mental factors, all coming under the sankhara aggregate. All are mental. So that includes lust, hatred, delusion, and many mental factors are there. So all different kinds of concomitants, sometimes we say concomitants, cetasika. Wholesome cetasikas, unwholesome cetasikas, all are coming under this sankhara. Say you have a good idea about a person, or you did a good deed about something, so you thought about it. So this is, say you practice mindfulness. So I am a meditator. So I practice while at Kalalgoda. So you are developing certain mental factors in a way. So are we claiming, okay, it belongs to me, I am the best meditator, I can sit long than you? So we can compete even in meditation, but I mean not relevant to the physical side I am talking here, but the skills that we are developing. Say you are learning at your college, as we discussed yesterday. So we passed the O-level exam. So I got 9 A's at O-level exam. So you with proud you are talking to someone. But if we consider that activity-wise, so there are many little things are there. Altogether I am saying it is the O-level exam, but I passed it. So I passed it. I am the one passed it. So there is a person who passed the O-levels. There's a person who passed the A-levels. So actually in that time we are referring certain bodily activities as well, verbal activities as well, mental activities as well. But currently thoughts are going on, referring that whole thing as one thing, as A-level, O-level, university, whatever, and then referring it as, okay, I passed it. I am the best who won the race, whatever. So all that ultimately can lead to the proliferation. Now here the question, next question, if we go to Konuko Bhante Sankharana Asadu. So what is the delight in the Sankhara? So what is the delight in thinking? So we prefer thinking, right? We like to think. So why don't you think about it? So we like to think, we promote thinking. And we like to dream. Daydreaming, fantasizing. So that is part of our life. Say, assume that you are given a little book. Say you go to the book fair with our Isha. And she is ready to buy you some books, and you read the poems there and you imagine, oh, beautiful. I am staying back at my home, in my little house at home, my village, with my little puppy, going all around the paddy fields. So you are going back to your childhood. Imaginations. Right now it is not there. Your village is no more there. It has totally converted into a city now. Now if I go to Panadure now, everything changed. I can't even find out my house. Previously there were some paddy fields and all that. Now all they have flat off. Build the houses and this and that. Everything changed. So you can't have your old village now. Everything's changed. But mentally you can imagine about it. And you can live in that fantasy world. Isn't it? So many books are fictions. They are not real. They are all fictions. But we like to read them. We like to enjoy, isn't it? So this is our human nature. So even though they are not real, we can imagine and we can enjoy it. There is a delight in it. So the whole sankhara provides certain kind of a delight. Even though it is completely false, still we can imagine and we can fantasize and we can imagine and enjoy. We delight in proliferation. Papanchabhirata paja. So that's why Buddha mentioned papanchabhirata paja. So this folk actually delight in conceptual proliferation. So conceptualizing, conceptual proliferation, this is the area we are delighted actually. Now say for example you are in love with someone. So you have a lot of fantasies about the situation. You are imagining how am I talking to him or her and how I am going to marry her. So how would be the pre-shooting? Now many events are there, no? A series of events, and who will be the funeral director? Wedding directors and then maybe the funeral director. Many things are there. I mean, you are planning. So all that plans are imaginations. Too much thinking, overthinking now. You can even cry. Okay, he didn't call maybe during your birthday. He forget you altogether. How dare he can't forget me on my birthday? He's supposed to call me as the very first thing in the morning. I am just going to break up this whole thing. He don't care about me. Actually, the same thing has happened. Actually, one yogi, he came from, I think, maybe Italian. Yeah, I think I mentioned you someday on those days. It happened really at Nissarana. One yogi, he's a foreigner. He applied to a retreat. And he's around 40 or something, but his girlfriend is around 20 something. And this fellow was crying, talking to me, telling that my future wife, they have planned to get married soon. But that girl has blasted him, telling that he didn't call her during her birthday. Didn't wish her during her birthday. And this fellow is crying. And he couldn't participate to the retreat even though he was applied. Then he left the retreat. Yeah, it has happened. He is crying now. In order to cry, how much he has to think, how much he has to become emotional. And there are certain characters, that we are very sensitive, very quite emotional. They really suffer actually. Myself is a good example. If not Vipassana was, then I don't know how my life would be. I also was a good thinker, really a suffering character. Thinking, obsessive thinking, and can't sleep at night even. My goodness, too much thinking. A real overthinker. Suffered a lot. So that was my character. Even now we can recognize, oh, this is my character. I was a heavy thinker, isn't it? So I claim it as myself. This is my character. So I can link to a person. This is my way of looking at it, my thinking, my emotion. And if someone is attacking it, saying, okay, this is useless, idea. We simply ignore your idea. So then you start a little challenged. Say you are participating into a meeting and you present your imagination, your design, and someone simply ignore it and say, okay, this is useless. You feel attacked, you feel belittled. Because your imagination, your thoughts, your design, your expectations are something that now you represent. It is not because that is the best, but it is mine. So you have a kind of a possessive atmosphere into that idea. So anyway, when we are having an idea, we enjoy it, we value it, we appreciate it, considering it is my idea or it is directly represent myself. So there's a huge I factor involved in this thinking, intentions. So that is actually certain delight is there. That's why we are tempted to think. We prefer to think, we prefer to imagine, we prefer to fantasize. And then what is the adinava? What's the danger? So all what you have thought can completely be useless. You might expect a certain way, you thought a lot, you imagine a lot, the thing would happen like this, but the result is completely a different result. So then it's an utter waste of time. And you thought, okay, I am going to meet her, I am going to meet him, and you planned a lot and many imaginations and how I am touching her, kissing her, and this and that. But when you are there, oh, she is with another boy. How you feel it? You feel the whole heart broken and collapse and depressed, and all that can happen. So this is the danger. So even though we imagine, even though we expect, so we can't guarantee the result. We can't guarantee the result would happen the way I want, the way I imagine, the way I expected. So your expectations, your imaginations, your fantasies are not guaranteed. So they can become null and void. And you feel collapse then. So whole heart broken. And how many people commit suicide? Because their, expectations are not met. They are heartbroken, completely sort of bewildered. So these are the areas, actually the dangers are there into our thought world. And if we are into obsessions, then ultimately you got completely mad even. You end up with depression and completely collapse. And maybe overthinking can lead to rumination and you are talking to yourself. Now you can go even to different levels of mentalities. Ended up with some mental diseases even. So these are the dangers. Actually, conceptual proliferation is a real culprit into the mental diseases. If you are overthinking, there may be states that the obsessions can come to a level that you can't stop it now. The prapancha is where that you being a victim of that proliferation. If it happened to a very high level, now you being almost like crazy. You lose the control and you are being very much like helpless. And someone else even can't help on such case. And maybe the medication would be the solution. You might have to get the medication. might have to consult a doctor, psychiatrist. Because even that level, a harm is there. If we are unable to, manage our thoughts, manage our thinking, proliferation particularly. So that's why actually the kind of a taming process is important. So not only to the bodily health, but the mental health is quite important. So how to manage this mental area, say the thinking process, how to reduce mental proliferation, and even to stop mental proliferation if possible, and to reduce overthinking, stop worrying, stop rumination, stop fantasying. And all that actually are a need today. I mean, you can't even sleep if you are thinking too much. If you are doubtful about someone, still you can't even sleep. You lose the health even. So even the body gets sick because of the mental disorders or the mental kind of imbalance. It can cause, what's that, psychosomatic diseases are there, right? So this all your mental status has a great impact on your bodily health. So huge danger is there. So that is the adinava. And then what is the Nissarana? Yo sankharesu chandaraga vinayo chandaraga appahanam idang sankharanam nissaranam. So rather than preferring proliferation, rather than addicted to overthinking, now we need to have a different kind of a mentality. How can I have a mind which is more into the non-proliferation? So Venerable Sariputta mentioned, papanchabhirata, that is actually the Buddha, papanchabhirata paja nipapancha tathagata. So this fork is actually more into the delight of proliferation, but the Buddhas and the Arahants are into the non-proliferation. And Venerable Sariputta say, yo papancha maniyutto papanchabhirato pajo papanchabhirata ato magu viradayiso nibbanam yogakkemam anuttaram. The one who is fond of proliferation, who is involved with conceptual proliferation, so he's like a crazy person, he's like a creature, he's like a beast. Magu. And viradayiso nibbanam yogakkemam anuttaram. He go away from nibbana, he go far from nibbana. What we need to understand is, nibbana is not what we are experiencing by thinking. So great thinkers are far from nibbana. The great thinkers, thinking from the morning to the sleeping, great thinkers thinking, continuous thinking, far from nibbana. Maybe scientists, maybe great thinkers, maybe Descartes, who mentioned that if there are thoughts, there is I. Isn't it? His famous statement, René Descartes, who is the one, a well-worshipped character in the Western psychology, who simply say, okay, there is thoughts, so that is, I am there. I am the one thinking. Thoughts are there. But going against that Buddhist book, the thoughts without a thinker. That's a different way. Now, so we have to have a different attitude now, a different kind of an intention now, how to minimize proliferation. We need to understand the danger also, and then completely have a different intention. Okay, this has to be stopped. I have to minimize this inner chatter. I have to minimize this unnecessary thinking, overthinking, proliferation, rumination, worrying, regrets. All that I have to minimize. So that should be one of your aim. So if we can't recognize the importance of that, being Vipassana yogis, that means still we haven't understood the proper Vipassana. And when Sariputta turns the other side, he says, Yochapapanchang hitvana nippapancha pade rato aradayiso nibbanang yogakkemang anuttarang. Yochapapanchang hitvana, the person who has abandoned conceptual proliferation. Nippapancha pade rato, who is delighted with freedom from proliferation. Nippapancha, freedom from proliferation. Who is delighted with that. That means you enjoy the inner silence. Silent mind is welcomed. Okay, let me calm down, tranquilize my mind. No thoughts, no overthinking, no worries, no regrets, no imaginations, no fantasies. Just be, enjoy that silence. Aradayiso nibbanang yogakkemang anuttarang. You are very much like open to the Nibbana, you realize the Nibbana. So the Nippapancha and Nibbana are synonyms. So there are 33 synonyms given in the Asankata Sangyutta, in the Sangyutta Nikaya. And one synonym is Nippapancha. You can see the importance that Buddha, how much emphasis is given to the Nippapancha. So recently actually I was fortunate to give a series of Dhamma sermons to ITN on Papancha and Nippapancha, and they have published the book also, Prapancha Saha Nishprapancha. So it's available now. You can download it from our website, and the hard copies are also available. So it's worth reading. So Nippapancha is a must. So the moment that you understood, okay, there is a possibility to stop thinking. It is not that you hate thinking, rather you have the capacity to keep it quiet, keep the mind quiet. Okay, let's enjoy it. Rather than confusing ourselves, rather than complicating the situation, this simplicity, inner simplicity, lightness of the mind, evenness of the mind, tranquility of the mind, calmness of the mind. So this is something we need to encourage. So this is where the Buddha is talking, okay, the path to Nibbana. So that's why it is not the great thinkers who will attain the Nibbana, but one who prefers the Nippapancha, they will attain Nibbana. So the whole lesson that Buddha given to Venerable Anuruddha. So you can remember, probably I think yesterday also I mentioned, that Venerable Anuruddha, being an eminent Arahant, before his arahantship, he was thinking about the Dhamma, that this Dhamma is for the one who is with less desires. Apicchasayan Dhammo, Nayan Dhammo Mahichasa. So this Dhamma, this whole path is for the person who is with less desires, with less needs. Not with the person with too many needs. You can be satisfied with less things. Santuttassayan Dhammo, Nayan Dhammo Asantuttassa. This path is for the one who is happy, contented, not the one who is unhappy, discontented. And then Panyavantassayan Dhammo, Nayan Dhammo Duppanyassa. This path, Dhamma, is for the wise, not for the, say, the fools. Then Upattita Satissayan Dhammo, Nayan Dhammo Mutta Satissa. This Dhamma is for the one who is with mindfulness, not with the one with the muddled mindfulness. Then Samahitassayan Ayan Dhammo, Nayan Dhammo Asamahitassa. This Dhamma is for the one with tranquility, who promotes tranquility, who likes tranquility, not for the one who is far from tranquility. About the concentration side he is talking now. And Pavivekassayan Dhammo, Nayan Dhammo Sanganikāramassa, something like that. So the one who prefers seclusion is for him this Dhamma, not for the one who is more into the socializing and that too much associations. So this Dhamma is for him. Viryavantasayan Dhammo, Nayan Dhammo Kusitassa. This Dhamma is for the one who is with a lot of effortful character, but not with the lazy, lethargic character. And he was thinking like this. Are these bad? All are true, isn't it? All are pretty valid statements. And he was thinking about it. Then Buddha immediately, through his psychic powers, appeared in front of him and he added the eighth one. Nippapancha ramasayan dhammo nayam dhammo papancharamassa papancharatino. So he added that eighth one and left. Then what happened to him? So Buddha added the eighth one, telling Nippapancharamassayan dhammo nayan dhammo papancharamassa papancharatino. This dhamma is for the one who is delighted in Nippapancha, not the one who is delighted with papancha. Now, Venerable Anuruddha, even though it appears like correct, so these are related to dhamma, but still it is a papancha. Dhamma related papancha. Dhamma vitakka, we can say. Dhamma related vitakka. We can have that also. Now say you are reading too many Dhamma books. Abhidhamma books are there, Atua, there, commentaries are there, sub-commentaries are there, Sutta Pitaka is there, say Nissarana books is also there. Many tons of books are there. So you read. Now once you close your eyes, many things are coming. Okay, this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing. Dhamma related, by the way. Is it correct? That's also, it confused the whole mind. So it is actually the indications, but we need to let go of that. We need to calm it down. Probably we can understand the danger of lustful thoughts, the danger of thoughts of ill will, the thoughts of harm, that we can understand, that we can avoid, we can ignore. Then as you know that the subtle thoughts may happen, the thoughts about your health, thoughts about the country, thoughts about your relatives, thoughts about your reputation. So all appear like correct. So thinking about the country, a good governance, not a bad thing. But maybe that's also thoughts. And thinking about your health, say while you are meditating, thinking about your health, appear like good. But next moment that you go and see the doctor and doctor say, okay, you have this, you have that, you have to admit to the hospital or you have to go through treatment for 6 months. So no time to meditate. Because over thought about the health, that also can happen. Because once the mind fairly calms down, it often can give emphasis to the health. And probably it can even promote further futuristic, imaginative type of thinking, and you may want to write a book, want to publish a book. So some meditators are fond of doing that. So they start meditating, and while meditating, too many thoughts are coming, talking about the path, and it's really good, I am really happy, okay, this is really the true path, so I should explain this to the others, let my family members also participate next time to the Kalalgoda retreat. I invited today also, these buggers simply ignore my request, how unfortunate they are, so I have to convince them. So you are thinking, and maybe you want to write a book, how important the meditation is. But you forget meditation, by the way. You are writing the book. So this happens actually. So there are areas in Vipassana, what we call Vipassana Upakkilesa. So Vipassana also has certain, kind of, pitfalls, we can say. Completely you are diverted into wrong directions. So when particularly the thinking is promoted by certain amount of wisdom. So as what happened to Venerable Anuruddha, that's also kind of a wise reflections. knowing that this Dhamma is for the effortful person, knowing that this is for the one with less desires, this is for a wise person, this is for the one who prefers seclusion, who is with the mindfulness, who is with the concentration. These are all correct things. But Buddha added the eighth one, okay, this Dhamma is for the one who prefers Nippapancha, non-proliferation. So later, after Venerable Anuruddha understood it, so he has stopped the whole thing and he became the Arahant, and later he praised the Buddha. So Buddha, who is delighted in Nippapancha, fortunately came and advised me. Then only I was able to see through. That crucial. Nippapancha part is that crucial. So this... now if we go to the last question, the 10th question. Katannuko bhante janato katam passato imasmincha saviññānake kāye bahiddāca sabba nimittesu ahinkāra maminkāra mānānusaya nahhontiti. So he is asking, Bhante, how one should know, how one should see for him to avoid any kind of eye-making, mind-making, and to avoid any conceit I am. Now, if we talk related to the Sankhara Khandha, so now Buddha answers, Yekechi Sankhara, Atitanagata Pachuppanna, Ajjattangva, Bahiddava, Olarikava, Sukkumava, Hinava, Panitava, Yedure, Santikeva, Sabbe Sankhara, Netammama, Nesohamasmi, Nameso Attati. Evametang yathabhutang sammappanyaya passati. So whenever thoughts happen, can you simply say, okay, I don't need it. It's not mine anymore. They are merely thoughts. Say you remember about your past event. So you are the one who performed well at your college. Say you got 8 Ds, so you got 8 A's, whatever. So when that thoughts appear in your mind, rather than appreciating and making a self out of it, can you simply say, okay, I don't need it, it's a mere memory, I'm not interested of it anymore. But it is valuing you as a person, adding a value to your life, by the way, isn't it? So making you as a special person. So say among many others, so you feel that I am the best who performed during that time, even though while others are struggling, I am the one who performed. I am the one who passed the exam, or I am the one who, say, won the race, I am the one who won to the parliament, whatever. So all are, affirming a self based on your past activity, but now they are merely thoughts. Thoughts are related to a past activity, affirming a self. So what are we going to do? If we are able to recognize, okay, they are merely thoughts, they also come and go. If you are able to step back and watch, then they come and go. You don't need to make a person out of it. Netammama neso hamasmi na meso attati. So if it is unable to do, probably you can remember the statement made by the Buddha. This is not me, this is not myself, this doesn't belong to me. This is not myself. So it's a kind of a reminder. Okay, thoughts are coming, affirming a self, my performance, I am the greatest, I am the winner. Or the other side, okay, I lose that, okay, he won the battle and I lost it, okay, I was defeated, I was belittled, okay, I was abused. That's also possible. You are regretting about what has happened in the past. Say during your childhood, say something has happened, a traumatic situation. Thoughts are coming now. Are you going to claim, okay, how bad he did, how dare he did it to me? So the moment that you add the me part, Sakkaya Ditthi. We are introducing Sakkaya Ditthi. We are affirming a self trapped in the Sakkaya Ditthi, trapped in the personality view. But if we can see, okay, they are thoughts, they are past memories, okay, they are still coming up. They are, that very much underneath the carpet, but as a result of the opening up, now they are coming up, no problem, let them come. You are not supposed to suppress, let them come. Okay, but you can watch it as an observer, as a silent observer, without adding your part, without adding a person to that, without, making it personal. So they are merely thoughts, let them go. Then you get purified. You feel less burdened. Your heart feel lighter. All the past wounds have oozed out now, came out now. Let it come out, and you being patient. Okay, these are past wounds, childhood experiences. Let them come out, but I am not claiming it as mine now. They are mere memories. Say, future-related expectations, they can pop up. You expect the good governance. Next election, thoughts can come. But if you promote it, okay, my government, my president, my vote, my election, my country, so you are adding a person into the picture. But if we can say, okay, they are also merely thoughts, future-related, mere thoughts, then we are not adding much. Let them also pass, and you being silent, coming back to the silence, coming back to the silence. So then thoughts or thinking is not promoted, isn't it? So we are not promoting thinking. Instead, we see thinking as another scenario going through in the mind, and we can simply stay back and recognize them, rather than adding our stuff into the picture. So if we are able to do like that, then I-making, mind-making become less and less. So I-making, it is not an existing I, by the way. So you can see ahankara. Typical ahankara is where you feel conceited, but the proper ahankara, the Pali term, represents the I-making. Ahang is the I in Pali. Kara is you prepare. You prepare a person. You prepare I. Prepare myself. So you prepare. It is a created I. It is not an existing I. It's a prepared I. It's an artificial I. Mind-made I. Not an existing I. So you can see how I prepare I. The sense of I being prepared time to time. So when the past incident is pop up in your mind, so you add to it and then you prepare I. But if you are able to simply let it go, not participating into the commentary, and they mere sankhara, they become mere sankhara, mere thoughts, mere memories. You didn't make I. They simply passed away. And maybe currently there may be thoughts happening in the mind. So if we trapped in them, then we participate into the dialogue and we prepare a I. So this is my idea, this the way I think. So the I part is emphasized. But you can simply say, okay, this is what I am thinking. So that's a mild way. Okay, because otherwise other person can't understand. If you say, okay, these are thoughts, then others can't understand. Okay, these are my thoughts. Okay, you can consider. Like that, you can put it in a mild way without emphasizing a person. Because then you can communicate also, but not adding much as it my part into it. So Buddha also has referred as I, myself, but mere terms, knowing they as mere conventions. Because you know that we have to use a language to communicate, to pass our message. We have to use a language. But knowing this is a mere language, these are mere sentences, these are mere conventions, these are mere terminologies, not being trapped in them. So there's a question came from one deity. So he's asking, Bhante, these arahants are also using I. I mentioned like this. He stated this to me. He gave rise to me. So they are also referring I, me. Are they still having this asmimana? Are they still having the sense of I? Ahang vadanti tipiso vadeya, mamang vadanti tipiso vadeya. So very beautiful. We may have the same question. So how then these Arahants and the Buddha, so they also have referred the term I. So Buddha say when he's explaining the Vesantara Jataka. So after explaining, okay, monks, you know this King Vesantara is no one else, it's me, myself. Ah, really? So you refer as yourself? Is still there is self? Probably one can question. But otherwise people can't understand, right? I mean, you have to use the language to communicate. So then Buddha mentioned, Yohoti bhikkhu arahang katavi kīnāsavo antima deha dhāri ahang vadami tipiso vadeya mamang vadanti tipiso vadeya loke samanya kusalo viditva vohara mattena so vohareya. And the Arahant who is simply maintaining the final life, after this birth there is no more. So he too, ahang vadanti tipiso vadeya, he also refers the same terminology. He used the same language as we ourselves. He used the same language. He is talking to us maybe, isn't it? So otherwise how can we understand? If he is using some completely Greek language, how can we understand? So he has used the same language, same terminologies. You gave me rice to me, thank you very much. I was quite satisfied. Maybe he is praising you for your offering, and maybe you invite him for the Dhamma sermon and he is now delivering the Dhamma sermon, something like that, whatever. And he mentioned, okay, I delivered the Dhamma sermon, I delivered the Dhamma sermon. So same terms that he is using. But Buddha say, Loke samanya kusalo viditva. He knew the conventions of the world very well. Vohara mattena so voharaya. So he is using them knowing it is a mere vohara, as a mere convention, as a mere word, a mere language. Now say, when we are saying clock, this is a clock. My clock. If I use it, oh, this my clock, maybe less I, this is my clock. Strong I. So maybe what would be the best way? So assume that this is my clock. So can't you say it is my clock without having I? Maybe possible, right? I mean, we don't need to really have burning I to say this is my clock. You can simply say, okay, this is my car, so I bought it yesterday. Without having a real sense of I, you can simply use the terms, mere terms, just to communicate with the other person, but not really strongly identifying with it. So that's why we need to see, are we able to use language without adhering to it, without taking it too tense, too strict, by knowing it's a mere language. So that's why the Buddha is saying, okay, these Arahants also, they may use the language, but knowing its limitations, knowing they are mere conventions, but not adhering to it. Vohara mattena so vohareya. And in certain other suttas, like in the Pottapada Sutta, Buddha say, so Tathagata also uses the terms, terminologies, languages, words, etc. But aparamasang, without strongly adhering to it. Aparamasang. So typically what happens is the paramarshana. Paramarshana means that you strongly grasp it, considering this language has some essence in it. Now say, for example, you have given a name to a particular rod. So this is Kalalgoda para. Kalalgoda para, right? Kalalgoda para. So what's the essence of Kalalgoda para? Essence of Kalalgoda para? Kalalgoda rod, what's the essence? Nothing is there. It's just an empty word. It's a mere sign. Just to distinguish among many other rods, okay, you have introduced a name, a label. Okay, this is Kalalgoda road. But assume that tomorrow someone wants to change the name. Will you agree? Say it is not Kalalgoda road, it is Mr. Pereira's road. Mr. Pereira was the governor of this area and blah blah blah. So as a respect to him, the name was given as the Pereira road. So as the new government, they want to change the name. The old people, how dare they are going to change the name? You see, this fellow was really helpful to this whole area. He's really respected guy. So that's why we have given this name. So we are so attached to it. We feel essence in it. We value it. We can't simply know it as a mere convention, as a mere label. We don't see it like that. We can't accept the change. We can't adapt to the change. We are adhering to it, strongly grasping it. So that is where we go wrong, and that is where the sense of I can come into be. So it's my rod, this is my name they have put, because I am the one who prepared this rod, whatever. So now you claim it, you possess it, strong I is there, Sakkaya Ditti is there. But if you simply use it as a mere convention, as a mere label, no harm. Let them change. I also accept it. Nothing wrong. So likewise, kind of an adaptability is required in our life, basically. So that adaptability is one part of our practice even. You being quite flexible. There are no much fixations in our mind then. So the fixations in our mind, non-adaptability, so this actually makes us real unhappy, really suffering. But if you are able to adapt, if you are to be flexible, then you can smoothly navigate through your life. Not making I, not claiming as I, myself. Now all that actually helps us to understand how to handle this sankhara. So the questions, the 10 questions, so these monks actually represent different areas of our practice. So the whole spectrum of Vipassana is very much concisely included in these 10 questions. Telling about the 5 aggregates, naming them, recognizing them practically through our maybe Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, and then the causes of them, and what is the delight and the adinava and the Nissarana, and then the non-claiming, not me, not myself. And let things happen, they are merely thoughts, and with respect to sankhara we can say you can come to the stilling of all the formations. Stilling of all the formations. How about that? So calming down all the formations, relinquishing all the formations, tranquilizing all the formations, being at ease, calm, relaxed, quiet, enjoying inner silence, no more formations. So the Nibbana, Sabba Sankhara Samato, you can see how well connected these things are. Sabba Sankhara Samato. So Sankhara Khanda ultimately have to cease in a way, completely calm down. Sabba Sankhara Samato, all the different formations are completely stilled, relaxed, calmed, quiet, silenced. You enjoy that. Be at peace in Nibbana. Not thinking, not logical, rationalizing, rather calm, relaxed, quiet, silencing. So you can see the Buddha's teaching has gone in a different direction. So we might think, okay, we in the new generation, so we are clever in thinking, we are very attractive way of, efficient way of thinking. We have generated a mind map. So these interesting words are there today, and people might think, okay, Buddha is a good thinker. So he came up with the solution by rational thinking. And I should have logical thinking and then attain Nibbana. I know how to attain Nibbana because this is the logic. And Buddha simply says, Atakka vachanang mayan dhammo. monks, my Dhamma is, difficult to understand by mere reasoning. It's going against the way we think sometimes, because we sometimes overthinking, rationalizing, reasoning, but he simply says it's difficult to understand by mere reasoning. It's going different way, isn't it? So atakkavachara, it's not sometimes able to comprehend by mere rationalizing, by mere logical thinking. You can't understand it. So that's why mere thinking is actually a very biased, maybe distorted, wrong way of thinking. That is what we are tempted to do, we are addicted to do, we are conditioned to do. So that's why the meditation really helps us to calm it down, relax it. Okay, come back and be with the body and body awareness. Okay, just be. Calm down, no thinking, no thoughts. And then probably there may be a path available for us to understand Nibbana, attain Nibbana. Stilling off all the formations, calming down all the formations. Okay, with that I like to conclude today's Dhamma sermon, and thank you very much for attentive listening. Okay, today we have sharing of merits, dedication of merits for morning dana. May the merit from morning dana be offered to my late mom, Lalita Pereira, my late son, Keshan Dinesh, and my recently departed, can't read that word by the way, auntie, Gun. Her name is Gun. May the merit also be offered to Venerable Bhante and all yogis attending the retreat. May we all attain Nibbana now. Good. And then the lunch dana is offered by Eshini Mudalige. May these merits help all of us to realize Chaturarya Satya very soon. Wish to pass the merits to all the past relatives who are in need of merits. Okay, these are the sharing of merits, and we wish these merits be bestowed to all the past relatives, all the celestial beings, and whoever in need of merits. And we wish these merits help us also to understand the Buddha's teaching and attain Nibbana in this very life. So we'll recite the traditional verses. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Akasattha ca bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu desanang. Akasattha ca bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu mamparang. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.